What's up YouTube? Welcome to the channel. Today we're taking a look at some PC case fans from Cooler Master, the Master Fan MF120 Prismatic. These are not to be confused with the Master Fan MF120 Halo. The Halo model comes with a different visual design over the Prismatics that we have here today. However, I will be checking out the MF120 Halos in a later video, but for this video, we're only looking at the MF120 Prismatic. So let's get this box open and check out these fans. Straight away we can see they have a very unique outer ring that Cooler Master calls their crystallized loop design. I think this will be the first thing that grabs your attention, and with a design like this you will probably make up your mind pretty quickly whether or not you like them. From the side view you can see the crystallized LED ring is repeated on both sides of the fan. I like it. There is a reflective Cooler Master sticker on the front, and looking at the back, the design looks pretty clean. We get our standard fan connections, a 3-pin RGB connector that can be daisy chained, and a 4-pin PWM fan connector. Let's see what we get inside the accessories box. We have a fan splitter, so 3 fans can run off one single header, a SATA power cable for our RGB remote. We get the remote itself, pretty small, looks basic. And finally, our screws, connector clips, and male pin adapters. For the case, I'm using my NZXT H210. Let's get these fans in, and then I'll show you how to wire up the remote. So here's our 3 sets of RGB cables running from the fans that we'll need to run our lighting. Very easy stuff once you've done this a few times before, but I know for some beginners it can be confusing. Follow along and I'll show you how to plug them in. What you'll need to do is grab a male end from the first fan, plug that into a female end of your second fan. Then repeat the same step again to connect your third fan. After we've done that, we can secure the connections with the included clips. The included secure clips are very useful, and in my opinion every RGB product should have them included. Next, grab the male RGB connector, then connect that into the remaining female connector. Place the included clip over the top to secure the connection. Grab the SATA power connector and connect that to an existing free SATA power connection running from your PC power supply. Grab the remote, and with the last remaining connection, plug that in. This remote has a single button to cycle through colours and a magnetic back so you can stick it to the inside of most PC cases. You can see a small indicator LED on the bottom of the remote letting us know that we have power. So I have the remote wired up, I've installed and wired up the fans. Finally, let's see what they look like. Right, so we've seen the pretty standard built-in rainbow color effect. What about the rest of the color effects? This is where I think the built-in controller is a pretty big letdown. Let's take a look. There is only 4 other lighting effects included. 3 are static colors. We get a red, we get a green, we get a blue, and we get a color cycling effect. You can also use the controller to turn off all of the RGB. We get no speed settings, no brightness settings, and in my opinion, we really don't get much at all with the built-in controller, especially when you compare it to the competition in the same price range. During both the rainbow effect and the color cycle option, we can see the controller has the ability to display other colors. So it seems like Cooler Master just chose not to include additional color or pattern options. This is the most basic controller I've come across in a long time, and to be honest, it's a bit of a letdown, especially given the price tag of around 99 AUD or 70 US dollars. I really feel like the included controller should have had more functionality at that price. So we've seen all the pretty lights. Let's go over some of the fan specifications. Cooler Master's MF120 Prismatic series are 120mm in size. They have a 7-blade design and the fans are using a rifle-bearing motor assembly. There is a total of 30 addressable LEDs on each fan, 24 on the outer ring, that's 12 being visible on each side, and then 6 LEDs in the fan center. Maximum rated airflow is 55 CFM. Minimum fan speed is 650 RPM with a maximum fan speed of 2000 RPM. Claimed noise levels are from 8 to 27 decibels. Those numbers are unrealistic. Here's my own testing. At the maximum of 2000 RPM, I got an average reading of around 46 decibels. At 1700 RPM, this lowered to an average of around 40 decibels. At 1200 RPM, I saw an average of around 35 decibels. One of my fans also come with some additional unwanted noise from the motor assembly. Have a listen. So if I'm being honest, the build quality of the fans is pretty average, especially in its price range. The fans use a lot of thin feeling plastics, and with the thin outer ring, there is very little reinforcement to the overall structure. In my hands and using little force, I'm able to easily bend the entire frame of the fan. Because of the particular design and the materials that have been used, they just don't feel very solid. So what's my final thoughts on these fans, and do I recommend them? Well, it depends. The LEDs are very bright and diffuse well when viewing the fans from the sides. Although it's hard to pick up on video, when viewing the fans straight on, the LEDs are much easier to locate their exact position due to the clear plastic that has been used. If the plastic was slightly frosted, I think the lighting direct on would have better diffusion. As for the controller, it's very limiting in lighting options and should have come with more built-in settings. Of course, you can get around this if you have compatible motherboard software or a separate controller, but if you don't, then your lighting options will be limited. Cooler Master has listed certified compatibility with ASUS Aura, ASRock RGB, MSI RGB, and Gigabyte RGB Fusion motherboards. They do have good airflow, but I found them to be louder than I had expected at higher RPM. If you really like the look and design, and you have your own compatible controller or motherboard software, then maybe these are for you. I would avoid paying full price because in my opinion you can do better with other fans in the same price range. Guys, if you like the video, hit like, don't forget to subscribe if you want, and I'll see you on the next one.